participation on the committee. For those around the table, please turn on your microphone when speaking. And for those participating via Zoom, please state your name when making a comment or asking a question. The MAG public comment process also allows members of the public to comment on items on today's agenda or on items that fall under MAG's jurisdiction. If you would like to comment at today's meeting, please fill out a white request to speak card located on the information table in the hallway and give it to MAG staff. If you parked in the garage, parking validators are available on the information table in the hallway. If you purchased a transit ticket to come to the meeting, please see staff for a ticket. Hearing assisted devices are available from MAG staff as well. We will now begin the meeting with a roll call of all members.
Thank you, Brittany. We'll go through the list of members. Please make sure you're unmuted and indicate if you are present when I call your name. Ian Walter, AMR Rural Metro. Lisa M. Meinzer, Apache Junction.
Lisa Emmenheiser on Zoom. Good morning.
Morning. Kiera Nelson, DPS.
Kiera Nielsen, present.
Trish Price, ASU. Mike Folia, Avondale PD.
Mike Foley is here.
Jim Tortora, Buckeye PD.
Jim Tortora, present.
Stephanie Heinzelman, Chandler PD.
Present.
Stephanie Beebe, Fort McDowell. Kim Weber, Gilbert PD.
Present.
Loretta Hadlock, Glendale PD.
Present.
Shauna Henry, Goodyear PD.
Present.
David Demers, Luke Air Force Base. Jim Stillwell, MCSO.
Jim Stillwell, present. Good morning.
Nicole York, Mesa Fire. Lindy. Go you.
Present.
Heather Beckwith, Paradise Valley PD.
Present.
Brittany Brunet, Peoria PD.
Present.
Phoenix Fire Department. Dan McNamee, Phoenix PD.
Present.
Dave Martin, Salt River PD.
Present.
Karen Sutherland, Scottsdale PD.
Present.
Domala Fantasy Surprise.
Present.
Tanya Logan, Tempe PD.
Present.
Amanda Howard, Tolleson PD.
Present.
Lieutenant Hadley, Wickenburg.
Present.
Is there anyone that I did not call that is present? Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Liz. We'll move to agenda item number 2. Our next item will be a call to the audience. This is the opportunity for the public to comment on items that fall under MAG's jurisdiction that are not on the agenda or that are on the agenda for discussion and not for action. 15 minutes will be provided for the call to the audience agenda item unless the committee requests an exception to this limit. I have received 0 requests to speak cards for this agenda item. MAG also provides the opportunity for members of the public to submit written comments via the MAG website 1 hour prior to the meeting. Staff, do we have any written comments for this item?
Brittany, we received no comments for this item or any other items on the agenda.
Thank you, Liz. We will now move to agenda item number 3, which will be the approval of the consent agenda. Items 3A through 3C are on the consent agenda. Does any member of the committee have questions on any of these items? Prior to approval of the consent agenda, do we have any members of the public who wish to speak on any items on consent? I have received 0 requests to speak cards for the consent agenda item. Staff, do we have any written comments for these items?
Brittany, as of today, no written comments have been received.
Okay, is there a motion to approve consent items 3A through 3C?
Karen Sutherland, Scottsdale. I move to approve the meeting minutes from August 18th, September 22nd, and October 5th, 2022.
Kamala Finney, I'll second.
I have Karen Sutherland from Scottsdale who made a motion to approve, and Dominus Finney from Surprise who's second. Can I now have a voice vote from those in the room? Those in favor say aye, and those opposed say nay. Staff, can you now take a roll call of those members?
So, excuse me, Chair and Liz and members of the committee, we need to continue with the voice vote first before we do the roll call for virtual attendees.
So you would like a roll call voice vote for the in the room as well?
Well, sorry. Everyone can turn on their mics and speak that way.
So you do a room vote. Okay.
So those that are present in the room, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any that oppose, say nay. Okay, we have a pass on that,
But I need to do a roll call.
and then those virtually.
Okay. Lisa M. Meinzer, Apache Junction.
Aye.
Mike Folia, Avondale PD.
Aye.
Jim Stillwell, MCSO.
Aye.
Lindy Mesa PD.
Aye.
Dan McNamee, Phoenix PD.
Aye.
Aaron Hadley, Wickenburg.
Aye.
Is there anyone I did not call that's present? Anyone I did not call for a vote? Brittany, the agenda item has passed.
Thank you, Liz. We'll now move to agenda item number 4. The next agenda item is a report to the PSAP managers on activities and programs managed by Maricopa Region 911. Liz Graver, our 911 administrator, will provide this report. This item is for information only.
So just a few brief things is all we have. Our text to 911, we are our total year to date, and this is as of the end of September, is 8,102. And just to give you an idea of where we're at, in our total for last year, 2021, was 8,907. So we are receiving more text to 911 calls. I saw a huge difference in MCSOs text to 911 as they are receiving texts through the alarm company. They started that pilot program, and I was wondering, Mr. Stillwell, do you have an idea of how many of those you get a day?
Yes, we're averaging anywhere from between a dozen to 3 dozen a day, varying just depending on the types of weather and things that we're dealing with.
Is there any other PSAPs that have signed up for this?
I know there's 2 other PSAPs, one I believe in southern Arizona, one down in up in northern Arizona, that have signed up. I'm not sure if they've went live yet though.
So what some of you have discovered, and Jim, is that we need to, is that there were routing issues because Intrado, who is this is their platform, is that right, Jim?
Yes, I believe it's administered through Intrado, yes.
They had old shape files they were using. They hadn't updated them, and we were other agencies were getting Jim's text messages from alarm companies, and so we were able to give Intrado the upgraded shape files, and hopefully that has tempered it. If you are looking, as a courtesy, if you're looking at doing this, give us a heads up ahead of time so we can make sure that we're aware of it, and it puts it on our radar, that we make sure that Entrado has your, even though we've updated it, we're still going to double check that that's something that you're interested in. And then on our sends, we are above the average that we've done. So we could have a record year. We are 119 year to date on sends launches. And that's all I have to report.
Thank you, Liz. Please contact Liz after the meeting if you have any further questions. The next item on the agenda is agenda item number 5. This is a discussion by the PSAP Managers Working Group as an opportunity to participate in planning 911 for the Maricopa region. Vice Chair Karen Sutherland will lead this discussion. This item is on the agenda for information and discussion.
Thanks. So what brought us to the conversation about the working group was at the last meeting, we had a lot of questions that some were addressed, some were not. Many will either move into the study committee or perhaps be addressed during one of these working groups. We've had working groups for a couple of years now. And what we were thinking was that Brittany and I had a conversation with Liz that we wanted to propose to you guys and get some feedback on. At the moment, we have the following working groups: emerging technology, education, governance, manual, and the NG 911 core services working group. We want to reduce those down to emerging technology, training and public outreach, policy, which would cover governance and manual, and then leave NG 911 core services on, but that one may have an end date once we've moved over and have managed to get all the policies written for that. So I wanted to get your feedback on that. Our thought was that we would take letters of interest from all of you to make sure that each PSAP manager is on one working group at least. Try to put you guys into the working groups that you're most interested in. What we'd like to do is have the groups meet in November, and then at the December meeting, come to us with what some goals are for your group, perhaps a vision and mission. Doesn't have to be a real revised statement, just what you think that your group should be tackling, so that we can try to get all of the topics that we have concerns about into a group. If it doesn't go to study committee, then into a working group that we can work on going forward. Questions or comments on that?
Karen, did we give them a date?
I have a question, comment.
Okay. Karen, did we give them a date that when you want these?
Well, I'd like for the first meeting for them to occur before the December PSAP manager meeting so that they can report back to us. So as far as choosing your, what working groups you want to belong in, I'd like that to come to Brittany or I within the next, say, week, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, maybe.
October 29th, that's Friday, next Friday, week from tomorrow.
Let's say by the end of October.
Okay.
Jim, go ahead.
Karen. Okay. I would just ask if you could, the current work groups that we have and your proposed work groups, if you could just send those out, just so we can try and see and compare the two. And then, I know that you said to have the work groups come up with some goals and what they believe they should be working on. But can you, in the information you would send out, would you be able to give a a framework of what you believe the groups that you're proposing to condense to, what you believe would their purview would include.
Yes, I can do that. I'll be in meetings until probably 6 o'clock tonight, so I will try to do that tomorrow. Anybody else? Oh, go ahead, Ben. Or-
Was there also a budget working group?
Yes, that will be added. Thank you. Any other thoughts on that? Okay, if not, then I will send something out, and then if you guys could respond by the end of October to what interests you, where you want to be, then we'll move forward from there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Karen. Do any members have any further questions or comments before we move on to the next agenda topic? Okay. The next agenda item is a discussion on evaluating the regional 911 budget and reallocating unspent 911 grant monies that have been made available. I will lead this discussion. This item is on the agenda for information and discussion. So I really want to open the floor to the PSAP managers on what you guys would like to see moving forward with the financial reporting as we go forward with the future agenda topics. And then I can have Liz speak a little bit on this as well.
Karen Sutherland, Scottsdale. I would like to see for future topics going forward on the agenda. We discussed reporting and analyzing quarterly, but since our meetings are not quarterly at this time, that we have a financial reporting section on the agenda as a standing item from now on, where we are able to see a report of the work that's being done, the money that's being spent, and if anything is changing, that we look at those items and what it means to our budget.
Okay, Liz, did you want to comment on that?
So I'm thinking out loud here, and we might have to check with MAG, but so there's no problem giving a report, but let's say that I have $50,000 that we are not going to need, that we want to reallocate as a group. So I'm thinking of how we create the agenda, because if we vote on something, we'd have to vote on something to be able to do that. And to be able to vote on something, we have to have it posted on the agenda that we're going to vote on something, and because it has to go through the MAG process. So I think we need to put some brain matter on how can we, what does that look like? And if I'm reporting it to you, I don't know if we're going to change something or if we have to wait till the next meeting to vote on it. Chantel's going to say something.
Liz, members of the committee, chair, I believe that we can have language that says and possible action. So you can choose whether or not to take action on that item.
Okay, I think that will work. And then it does have to go up to 911 oversight and on the consent. Okay, so that will help us. And so then if we have possible action, then that as a group, we can pass or deny any motions to spend that money. So that shouldn't be an issue. And then we can also put those out along with the agenda a week ahead of time so that you have time to look at it and be prepared for comments. And we'll try to design a sheet that you can look at and interpret. We'll have Karen and Brittany look at it and bless it. And then that will be our form sending out. So it's easy to read at a glance to see what's being spent and what hasn't been spent. And then I'll denote anything that's possible that could be reallocated.
So I have a question on that. Are you going to do maybe a list of numbers and have it all spread out and then also kind of do like a graph so it's a visual as well? Is that what you're talking about, Liz?
Well, the way that I've done it in the past for my own is to keep track of what was budgeted, unapproved, what has been spent thus far, and what's remaining. And then and that's going to be like a line item so that we can say, Chandler PD did an upgrade and there is $38,000 left over from that. And then you'll be able to see that. Now, some things we're not going to be able to reallocate those monies till we get closer to the end of the year, like our monthly contract payments that we make to carriers or monies left over for personnel, things of that nature. But maybe I can highlight on those, the ones that there are overages that we have the possibility to spend. So you're going to see the whole budget line item. And then in there, you'll be able to look at it by color code, because I love color coding, to say, oh, this is highlighted in pink. And that means that we can spend it, that this is money that we can discuss about reallocating. So the other thing you might want to consider is, do we need to have some sort of a process of, so if let's that 38,000 that Chandler didn't use on their project, then Goodyear wants it for something and Paradise Valley wants it for something as well. So is there some sort of form or some sort of a documentation or a process that helps us decide that? Is it all going to be in the meeting, or is there going to be any governance behind that?
Go ahead. My thought is that the budget working group might be able to tackle that. And maybe this year we might struggle a little bit, but going forward, as the budget is being developed, it would be nice to be able to put together a priority list. And then we would just work through that priority list as money becomes available.
That's a good idea.
Kim Weber, you had a question. Go ahead.
Yes, as part of the financial reporting, can we put on there a report as to, along with the line items, what has been submitted for reimbursement and when, and then also an update as to when the state actually makes payment on those reimbursements? Another item I'd like to see on the financial reporting is an update on any amendments that we're making to the budget. So we're aware of what we originally submitted or what's approved and what's being amended throughout the year.
Liz, your thoughts on that? Okay, I notated that, Kim. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Damala Finney was surprised. Go ahead.
I'd like to see if maybe there can be, and I don't know how in depth we would need to go with it, but at the very least, some sort of maybe face sheet or something that gives definitions, what some of these things are. They might seem logical to us, but what it means over at MR911 versus what it means at Peoria versus what it means at Surprise could mean different things. And so if we could have those descriptions or maybe details about how that fund or this line item goes to whatever. I know I'm being very all over the place with that, but I think you get what I mean, just so that we're all on the same page about what it means and how it's being allocated. But not something so that we have to revisit it every single time. If it's just a part of that every time, it would be helpful.
Thank you, Damala. I notated that. Any other comments or questions? Kim Weber, go ahead.
Let me know if this is not appropriate for this meeting, but is it this topic, under this topic, are we able to get the status report for the fiscal year 23 approval? What was approved from our ask?
Do you know that answer, Liz? We can definitely research that and then get back to you, but yep, I'm gonna add that.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments on this topic? I think everything that's been submitted is good information and some good topics as we move forward, whether we put it within the budget working group or again, as conversation within our group. I think this is some good information as we move forward with information regarding financial reporting. Okay. We're going to move to agenda item number 7. The next agenda item is a report on 911 throughout the state of Arizona. Travis Jensen is the program manager at the state 911 office who normally provides this report. However, the state 911 office had a scheduling conflict, so they are not present today to make any presentation. So due to that, we're going to go ahead and move to agenda item number 8. Do we have a request? There any requests from the members for items for future agenda? Karen Sutherland with Scottsdale.
So as we move closer to Super Bowl and the events, I would like to see on the December agenda a discussion about some contingency plans and just how we plan on being ready in case something big happens.
Great suggestion. Anybody, any other comments or topics from the membership? Okay. We'll move to agenda item number 9. Are there any comments or announcements from the membership? Okay, the next meeting of the MAG PSAP Managers Group will be on Thursday, December 8th at 10 a.m. With no further business, today's meeting is adjourned. Thank you.